It is time for our weekly Editor's Cut, our Friday special segment where we bring on the information's editors to give us a glimpse into the discussions that are dominating their editorial meetings over the past few days. This week, the tech and media news headlines were dominated by one family, the Ellisons, and specifically with Larry Ellison leading Oracle and also backing his son David Ellison and Paramount's ambitions to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. We want to focus on the scale of the bets that Larry is making. Joining me now to discuss that is our co-executive editor, Martin Pierce, and our features editor, Nick Wingfield. Welcome to you both. It's great to have you here.
Hey, gosh.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay, it's the Martin and Nick show. And Martin, I'm going to come to you first. How are you thinking about the scale of the bets that Larry Ellison is making, not just at Oracle, but also in media?
Well, I should start by saying that Nick is much smarter than I am about tech. So, and in the editorial meeting, we don't tend to argue too much. So let me just lay the groundwork and make that clear. Nick and I have actually worked together for 25 years, so we actually know each other pretty well. I think the scale of the bets are great, but it's clear to me that the much bigger bet is the one he's making at Oracle. I mean, Oracle is investing an undefined amount of money in expanding its AI business. It's very reliant on open AI, and no one really has any idea how well that company will actually do it and whether or not it will be able to afford the commitments it has made to buy cloud computing from Oracle in 4 or 5 years' time. On the other hand, Ellison is making a big bet on the entertainment industry, but the scale of it in terms of his personal wealth is not that great. He put about $6 billion into Paramount, and he's committed at least 12 into the Warner deal. He's on the hook to back the entire equity amount of 41, but he really won't have to put up all of that. So even if Paramount goes to zero, even if the equity goes to zero, he won't lose that much. Whereas most of his wealth is in Oracle, and if that stock falls a lot because of the AI bet, then he would lose a lot more.
Okay. Nick, do you agree that the Oracle bet is the riskier bet? Seems like a foolproof argument.
Yeah, I agree with Martin, but I'm going to try and argue the opposite in the interest of making this discussion a little more stimulating. And first, I'm going to take a trip down memory lane, which is when Martin and I met 25 years ago. We met on the day that a now long forgotten company called AOL acquired Time Warner, the predecessor to Warner Brothers, or at least the Warner portion of the Warner Brothers Discovery company. And that turned into one of the biggest fiascos in certainly media deal history, if not corporate mergers and acquisitions. It was a terrible deal, and the fact remains that most media deals are bad.
Why was that one bad, though?
Oh, there were so many reasons. You're going to stretch my memory, but basically, AOL had a inflated currency, its stock, because of a lot of questionable deals that they struck. Martin, do you remember the other particulars around?
Well, the other reasons were that AOL was built on a selling internet access to people, and the deal happened right as broadband was emerging, and that completely destroyed the AOL business. And the other issue is that there was such a cultural clash between these two companies that it prevented them from actually working together.
Okay, so Nick, finish your point now. So you were saying.
Right. So that the collapse of that deal ended up being like, the first line, or will be the first or second line in the obituaries for a lot of the people who are involved on both sides of the company. So if this deal, basically, if this deal happens, there is risk that it ends up souring and being an embarrassment for the Ellison family. If the deal, but there's also a question of whether the deal can get done. It still has to go through regulatory approval. The Ellisons, I think, have argued that they have a clear path to getting it approved by regulators because of their, shall we say, friendly relations with the Trump administration. But it's not a slam dunk. And without Warner Brothers Discovery, you could argue that Paramount is destined to be a failure, and that could end up, if not, damaging the wealth seriously, or as seriously as Oracle's collapse would. It would be a huge embarrassment for Larry Ellison.
Well, and Martin, is there an argument to be made here that the Paramount deal, the media deal? I mean, this is an industry that is, going through transformation. Much of it is in decline, right? I mean, you're putting your money into this area that does not have the rest of the world sort of on its tailwind. Whereas the AI play, it's risky from a capital perspective, but I mean, this is the thing that people are talking about is going to carry much of the economy in some cases for the next 10 years. Don't you think that it's riskier to go into this shrinking industry for Larry Ellison?
There's no question that the entertainment industry for decades has attracted people who don't know anything about it, who are attracted by the chance to go to the Academy Awards and to, just feel like they're really cool. And the business itself is really a bad business, and it's particularly bad right now. And yes, if whether or not the Ellisons manage to succeed in this takeover bid, their chances of actually making any significant amount of money on Paramount are not very good. But you look at it from the other point of view, which is that at 83, I think he is, Ellison is betting on betting the ranch, really. He's really betting the future of Oracle, the company he founded, 45 years ago, on this unproven technology. He's trying to compete with Amazon, Microsoft, and Google on the cloud front. It's an enormous bet, and I think the amount of money he stands to lose is much greater in Oracle than in Paramount, even if you assume the Paramount thing is a complete disaster.
And I should say, I just Googled it. He's 81, Martin. So he's not quite 83.
Sorry, I overstated his age. That's really terrible.
Okay. So Nick, I mean, does this just come down to a father-son story at the end of the day? I mean, is that the business case here?
I'm a movie guy. I really, really love movies. Some of my favorite movies this year were Warner Brothers.
Let's be clear. Nick doesn't know anything about the entertainment industry. So when he says he's a movie guy, he likes to watch movies.
You just started off by saying Nick is smarter than I. That was what you opened the segment with.
But
well,
look,
of course, but
So I mean, that was my point. I'm not saying I know the industry better than you do, but I love movies, and maybe, just maybe, Larry Ellison feels like, he'd rather own this.
This is why people go into the industry. They love movies. This is the problem with the industry. All these morons go into the industry because they like to watch the movies. They don't understand. It's a terrible business. No one should be investing.
Larry Ellison has more money than he could ever spend. There's more to life than money. Maybe he wants. He wants to be able to protect these beautiful Hollywood assets.
Yeah.
So okay, let's think of ourselves as reporters now. If you were to, as you think about the reporting questions, Martin, what are the big questions that you think that journalists should be out there trying to figure out with these deals in play?
I guess I would be trying to figure out how much money is Ellison personally putting in? Where is that money actually coming from? I mean, Oracle has said in its filings that Ellison has borrowed against about a third of his Oracle stake. We don't know what the impact of the Oracle price falling has had on that particular arrangement he's got, but I would be interested to find out, is he financing his investments in Paramount via his Oracle, the loans? So that's one question. And then the other question is, how much money is Oracle have to raise on the AI front? That's the single biggest issue. And when they were asked about that this week, they really did not give any kind of specific answer.
And Nick, what are the questions that come to mind for you?
I mean, I like a lot of Oracle's success in cloud is based on a big customer, OpenAI, and So I think understanding, whether OpenAI can follow through on its cloud commitments to Oracle, whether it has the money to do it, whether the growth is there for its product, a lot of that actually, certainly influences Ellison's wealth. And so putting all those pieces together and seeing how they impact this deal is one way to approach the story.
And let me just go back to the entertainment industry for 1 second here. Look, one of these deals, maybe we'll go through. It's either going to be Netflix or Paramount. It'll still be a while before we figure it out. But in the story of media companies constantly taking over each other, merging, breaking apart, which of the two do you think may end up better? Which of these two deals has a higher likelihood of eventually just selling a piece off to another company or splitting apart or eventually going south? Martin, do you think?
I mean, I've argued all along that I think the Paramount deal, it makes more in that, it's a more logical bet. I mean,
Right.
Netflix, I think, is a very good, strong company. It does not need this.
Okay. Nick?
Well, if you ask people in Hollywood, from what I've read in the trades, the Netflix deal is going to be better in terms of jobs. So it depends on what perspective you're arguing from. The synergies that Paramount is projecting from this deal imply a much higher level of redundancies and cutbacks. With Netflix, it's less. There certainly probably will be some job loss, but I also think a Netflix deal is probably worse for the theatrical experience, just because their bias is in streaming, and I still like to go to the movies.
Great. Okay. Well, what movie are you seeing this weekend, Nick?
I don't have any plans. What should I see?
I want to watch Jay Kelly. That's the movie
That's
on
on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on. Well, I didn't say I wanted to go to the theater. I said I wanted to watch the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on, guys. We'll talk to you next Friday. That is Martin Pierce, our co-executive editor, and Nick Wingfield, our features editor here at The Information.